Hello and welcome to the introductory video to the new Taser CRM. What we're going to cover in this video includes the general overall functionality behind Taser as well as how to use it on a day-to-day activity. What does Taser stand for? It stands for Target Acquisition and Sales Execution Resource. And to get a better understanding, we're going to explain how it relates everything with a hierarchy. The system's going to start off at the association level. From there, it's going to break down to projects. And then finally, it's going to have company project records. A better explanation of this would be to use RBA as our association. From there, RBA is going to have buyer's guides as well as a news brief. And with the system, what it allows us to do is it allows us to have a company, for this example, the Pan Man, to have a project record underneath the buyer's guide, as well as to have a separate one underneath the news brief. Ultimately, the system's going to tie all those up within the company history. Secondary example would be a company, Muffin Tops. Again, they would have one for each of the different types of projects, but it's kind of tied together with Muffin Top company history. I want to give a general overview and some key terms that you're going to need to know as far as the CRM. We'll start off at the left-hand side. This section right here is what's going to be known as the left navigation pane. What that's going to cover is project leads, as well as your activities that you set up for yourself. Going into the center section, this is your workspace. This is where you're going to find all of your project leads. Continuing to the right, we have the search assistant. This is going to be where you conduct all your queries to help refine your search. Next, down below is the split screen. This is going to give you a quick snapshot of information related to the highlighted project lead. Up above that, we have the quick find. What the quick find is going to do is it's going to allow you to search for any company number as well as listing company name. In addition to those, it's also going to take any parameters you have set up in your search assistant. Final section on here is the view section. It's going to default to my active project leads. You also have the ability to set up customized ones, which we will cover at a little later date. From here, let's go ahead and go in and we will open up Taser. How you're going to start off your morning is you will log in to your Outlook. By doing that, it's automatically going to give your username and password to the CRM. In order to get in, we'll need to go to Internet Explorer, open it up, and the URL will be crm.multiview.com. To make life a little easier, you may want to set it up on your favorites bar. You can simply click it, and we will open up the CRM. To reiterate a couple of different sections in here, again, left navigation pane. This is your workspace. You will notice a little difference. Your search assistant is collapsed. In order to expand that, simply need to click on that and it'll bring it out. Down below, we have our split screen. I'm going to take a few minutes here to go back to the hierarchy and how things are related. Within here, as we can see, we have three different types of history. Starting off with the first one, we have project lead history. And as you can see, we have RBA buyer's guide. All the notes are for RBA buyer's guide. Next, we have association history. And within this section, we have RBA buyer's guide, as well as RBA news brief notes. Final section is all company history. Underneath there, we do have RBA buyer's guide, as well as another association, and RBA news brief. Within this section, you'll have every association project that company is related to. You'll have the notes within there. Continuing back up to the top, we have the quick find, and finally we have the view section on here. From here, let's go ahead and open up a project lead record. How we will do that is you can go highlight any record and you simply double click to open it. One thing that I do want to point out to you is you will notice some sections have underlined entities. What this means is that there's a record associated with that. So if you clicked on this one, it would be the RBA Buyer's Guide. You would open that up underneath the project section. For the most part, you do want to stay away from all underlined sections. So we can go into a blank section, double click, and we open up a project lead. Couple of key sections within the project lead will be the left navigation pane, as well as this will be known as your workspace. Underneath the left navigation pane, the two main areas that you will be focusing on include information as well as project lead contacts. What the project lead contact section is a display of all of your contacts underneath that project lead so that you can find additional contacts if you need it. Going back to the information section, we'll start off with the General tab. It displays the company number, what association you're calling, the current status of this project lead, as well as you also can see if it's renewal, if it's spec'd. You have direct access to the website. You simply double click and it will take you to the company website. Down below that, you have lead type. This includes member, exhibitor, as well as data source. And then the final section of the General tab includes contact information. This will be where you notate your primary contact for the project lead. Going over to the next tab, listing information will be the information that shows up on the guide. If you continue to scroll down, you can see that we also included the external links there. From here, let's go ahead and make a call to our primary contact, Kim. You'll go back to the General tab. Underneath contact information, it's as simple as finding a number that is underlined. We double click that number and it will automatically call out, as well as it will create an activity for you. Within that activity, we do automatically store a couple bits of information, including what account it's regarded to, the recipient who you called, the phone number, what phone number you called. A couple of fields that are required that you will need to fill out include call outcome, which is defaulted to left voicemail, as well as sales phase. So on here, we can say that Kim told us to call back. Since she told us to call back, it's open. And directly below the subject line, which is automatically populated with those two fields, call back open, we can put Kim said call back at 5. From there, we'll want to go down to the due date. She wants to call back tomorrow at 5, so we'll set Friday. And from here, you see that it automatically defaults the time to 7:30. We know that we need to call her back at 5. We'll set the time. From there, you're done. You'll simply need to go up. We want to save this to history. That way we know what happened. And if we take a quick look at project lead history, we can see that our note has been put in there. Kim said call back at 5, call back open. It's also at the association level and all company history. Final thing that we will need to do is change the status of the account. In order to do that, we'll go back into the information section. Underneath the General tab, status of the account, currently inactive. All you have to do is click on the drop-down box, change that to whatever status is applicable, and then we will save and close the record. From there, you can go to your next project lead and continue down your list. I hope this was helpful.